What is up? Thank you for coming to my channel, Prison POV. Shout out to my joiners, and shout out to the Point of View crew. We're going to tell a story right now. And let me just add that this is the 4th day in a row I'm uploading. I'm telling you guys, I'm really going to do some serious uploading. Hey, throw me a like if you're feeling it. Alright, I'm going to tell a story right now, man. I'm going to tell this story. Sad discovery. July 8th, 2003. And a side note, I have like a little, what is it? Is it a gift? Some little thing that I can do? I don't even know what to call it, but whatever date you may bring up, throw a date at me. Any date. I can tell you exactly where I was and what I was doing. And I could say that July 8th, 2013, I had just gotten bitten by the sheriff dog. So I was at Kern County Jail, getting ready to do a violation. Go upstate to do a violation. That's where I was. But they made a sad discovery. July 8th, 2003, they found Ernestine Harper, age 70. Joni Harper, didn't give an age, but it's the daughter of Ernestine, and the mother of Marquise Harper, age 4, and Lindsay Harper, age 2. They found those 4 people dead inside their home. The reason why they went looking for them, and they found them on the 8th, is because they had not been seen since the 6th. Since church on the 6th. Not been seen or heard from, called the police to a welfare check. Now, when they found those 4, and they're telling the neighbors and the family, like, hey, we found 4, they're like, wait a minute, though. There's a problem. There's actually 5 people living in there. So they went, did some more investigating. Actually, that's when they found 6-week-old Marshall. He was kind of laying under his mother. Didn't see him at first. So 5 people in that house. Now, the house was tore up. It was a staged burglary. It looked very staged. Everything was dumped out. Yet there was money and valuables laying around. From someone, I have a friend who's been involved in burglaries, knows a lot about them, knows people who's been involved. And they don't go in there and make a mess. They only do that on TV. They don't go in and thrash, dump every drawer out, make all this big mess. For one, it's noisy. For 2, it just makes a mess. Really what you like to do if you go in to clip somebody, you want to not even disturb anything. Hopefully you can get away with it. They don't even notice anything's missing. I mean, that'd be the ideal. You don't want to just thrash it. I mean, what for? I mean, I know of a Glock that came up missing, and they didn't even take the case or disturb anything around it. They're hoping that the people would see that the case is still there and nothing's disturbed. They're not going to throw the case down or take it and knock over the lamp and just noisy, messy, front you off. What for? It's only on TV. So this house was like that, all thrash, that there was money laying around. So they knew something was going on with that. Now, their first thought was it could have been sort of retaliation. Because Ernestine, the 7-year-old mother of Joni and the grandmother of the children, was an activist. She's involved in activism. And she dealt with some very radical people. For them and against them sometimes. When you're involved in activism, who knows? They thought maybe she came across the wrong person. Some sort of retaliation. Now, the father of Joni's children, Vincent brothers, they had a very rocky relationship. They'd been married but divorced. Then they recently got remarried just a few months before the discovery of the bodies. And in fact, things must not have been well because he'd been moved out of the house again. And in fact, he was living in Ohio. So, he'd been arrested for spousal abuse. He was a cheater. It was toxic. Now, however, when the bodies were discovered, he was in North Carolina visiting his mother. And right away, when he heard the incident that took place in Bakersfield, he went and turned himself into the police for a formal interview. They released him because of lack of evidence. I mean, basically, this happened in Bakersfield, California. Here you are. You're in North Carolina. I mean, you've been here the whole time. It's not you. They're looking at the activism. They're looking at this and that, but they're not really tripping on him. He came back to California a week after the murders. He did not attend the memorial services, but he did attend the funerals. And then he was considered the only suspect, but he was not arrested until April of 2004. And this happened in July 2003. Only suspect, not arrested. The cops had their work to do. Detectives had their work cut out for him. He thought he was slick, though. He thought he was sneaky. What he did, he flew to Ohio from Bakersfield, California, July 2nd. He's in Bakersfield. He flies to Ohio. As soon as he gets to Ohio, he rents a car, drives it back to Bakersfield. He does that on July 3rd and 4th. Did his dirty deeds on July 6th. Monday, July 7th, returned to Ohio. Then Tuesday, July 8th, went ahead and drove to North Carolina. He's like, I didn't do it, I'm way over here. He even had his brother using his credit cards in Ohio. That's one of the first things they do. They go to grab see what your credit cards are at, and your phone is paying, and all that sort of stuff. It checked out. It looked like he was in Ohio. But what they did, though, what he didn't see coming on the bottom of the deck, they took his car and they broke it all the way down. Of course they did. You know, the CIA, the DNA, those fools love to just, with their microscopes and their tools and all the kind of, they can get down with the technology they have nowadays. Bro, I don't think so. They know if an ant farted, like, way over there type shit. Bro, they broke his car down. And they were able to find bugs that were in his radiator that were only found west of the Rockies. He's like, no, I just went from Ohio to North Carolina. You couldn't have. Because there's bugs that are in your radiator that you're only going to find way out west. And then trip on this. Since he, like I said, July 2nd, he flew to Ohio. Then went to Ohio. He rents a car, drives to Bakersfield, back to Ohio, North Carolina. Now, they did the mileage, and they checked. If you're going to go from Ohio to Bakersfield to Ohio, North Carolina, it's 4,500 miles. How much you think miles is on his odometer? How many miles has he driven since he rented the car? That's right, 4,500 miles. Duh. Man, they look at all that stuff, bro. Like, but you know it's really hard to cover your tracks. It's almost like, dude, you're stupid. You should cover your tracks. But how? How you gonna cover your tracks on something like that? They're checking the. So it's 4,500 miles. They got him. Got his ass. Got that ass. Now, while he is fighting his case, and they arrested him, and he's fighting his case, he is a yellow band. When you go to Kern County Jail, white is GP, blue is PC, and yellow band is like a high power keep away. It means your case has made the news. High power keep away. Because a lot of times, if you have a very high profile case that's in the news, a lot of times inmates will just want to take off on you, do something to you just for clout, credibility. To be like, I'm that guy that got that guy. Plus his charges are foul. Ernestine, 7 years old, a grandma, and then the 3 children, plus Joni, mother's children, just foul just like that. They would have got that ass. They would have broke them off. Had he not been yellow banded, high power, keep away, he would have been blue banded PC. Sometimes I've seen him have both. Anyway, be that as it may. Let's find the case. He's a yellow band in Max Mead, and he's actually in a fresh ass cell. One of the coolest cells I've ever seen. His cell, and there's only 2 like him. There's only 2 cells like this. His and the one right next to his. There might be 2 more just like this around the corner. I'm not sure, because I was in Max Mead this time. I was a porter. That's I could tell you all this. His cell was dope. Big ass cell, single cell of course. Nice TV, flat screen hanging on the wall right outside of a cell. And then he didn't have a remote, but he had buttons where he can control the volume and changing the channels. And of course he had several channels and an on and off button on his wall. He had a cool little like table desk thing for eating after watching his TV, and a bed. And it was spacious. And he had a nice cell. Phones, how we talking the phone back there? They had the phones that roll on the wheels. A movable phone, put over to this and just move it around. Because in addition to those 2 cells, I explained to you, they had this TV on the outside of the wall. Him and some other dude back in the corner. They had a whole tier full of single-man cell PCs that also had TVs outside of their cell, but they didn't have any way to control it. The cops have to come in, turn it on and off. So that phone was for them, for that tier of all them PCs, and then these 2 cells, this fool Vincent and the dude next to him would use the phone. He never got, they offered him showers. He denied them. He never ever came out of the cell. He never ever went to yard. He stayed in the cell. I wonder if he's scared. Probably knew he was green lit. He probably didn't know if the inmates would have action on him. He's seen us walking around. And possibly, if he's going out to take a shower, someone might have rushed him. You never know. We're taking him out to yard, handcuffed. He's under escort. Yeah, small little hallways. A lot of inmates walking around. Probably someone would have busted a grape on him. He never left the cell. And he never got his full county issue fucking with me. I was his porter. I'm involved in I'm responsible for giving him all of his food. All of his clothes. So, what I would do though, how it started was lunchtime one day, I stole his orange. right in front of the cop. I know I kind of mentioned this. You see my video yesterday, but I think a lot of people might see this video who did not see the video yesterday, and I kind of have to give the full thing. I just can't, like, assume you saw the video yesterday. Let me just tell you, I'm feeding him his lunch, a little sack lunch. The cop would walk by and open up his door, little tray slot, pop down, and I'd have to hand his sack lunch in there. One day I took his orange right in front of the cop because we were making a batch. We were low on oranges. I want to get this batch going. So I took the orange and put my stuff over there. Boom. Cop did that 2-3 days in a row. Cop didn't say anything. One day I kind of had the munchies, a little bit hungry. I don't know why. I took his cookie. Ate it right in front of the cop. I was passing lunches out. Gave it to him. Now it's a bag of chips and a sandwich. Then, you know, you always want to see what you can get away with. You know, I was just testing the waters. Don't you always go and go and go till someone tells you no? That's a cool little song. I go and go till someone tells me no. So I'm just going to keep on going. I took his chips. Cop didn't say anything. Now for a couple of days I'm just handing out a sandwich. Unless it was peanut butter and jelly, I would keep that and just give him the bread. Give him a sandwich. And one day I just kept the whole damn thing. And when he opened up that tray slot, I walked by and just gave it a knock. Knocked on his tray slot. And the cop said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Fuck him in his neck." I said, "I don't have a sack lunch." I dropped it over there in the mop bucket back. I don't have it. Whatever I told him. I can't remember what I told the cop. He said, "Give him a lunch. Give him a full lunch." So I gave him a full lunch. Gave it to him. I was like, "Hey, man, probably been a while since you've seen an orange, huh?" I threw it in there, too. His clothes, I'd fuck with his clothes, too. Give him one sock. Things too small, things too big. Things with holes, things that are stretched out. He'd quick change his stuff in. And then he would change stuff in again. I really hit him hard. Like, "I missed you." I gave him one sock, and that one sock had the toes blowed out. A lot of times what people like to do in there with their sheets, with their mattresses, what they'll do, they'll take their sheet and they'll put their mattress on it and they'll pull the ends up and they'll slice it with a razor blade on both sides. I'll put I call it a string, but it's another piece of sheet, and they tie that thing on there. They slice it up on the sides and they just tie that thing on there so it's tight, because the beds have, like, I call, like, a shower curtain material on them. I don't know what that is. I guess it's better than having cotton and stuff that could absorb all the yuckies. So it's something that can be cleaned off easily. The shower curtain, very uncomfortable, slipping and sliding. So, what? Slipping and sliding? So, yeah, they'll tie the sheets on, but in the process of doing that, they get destroyed. You put them in the wash a couple times, they come out, and those rips get bigger, and they just start getting all jacked up. So that's what he got. Some jacked up, ripped up sheets, little tiny towels. But he would tell the nurses when they come by to give him his meds, they needed better clothes. I know, because the cops come to our porter tank and say, "Hey, I need this size, this size, this size, and a pair of socks." I knew it was for that fool. But I didn't take his lunch. I didn't take his breakfast and dinner. I did take his dinner milk. Because, how are you going to take, like, oatmeal and, like, a hard-boiled egg? That's not even worth it. It might have just gave him, like, the smallest tray of salt. But anyway, I gave that fool the blues. He had no motherfucking love coming. We both left to Wasco around the same time. I know that because my F number is F88337 and his is F90. So we're like 1,000 people apart. You would think that's a lot. Him and I are 1,000 people apart. But no, I bet you that's another 10 fucking days. Wasco reception, man, they get 100 people a day. LA, Orange County, Kern County. Who haven't I mentioned? IE sometimes. Fresno County. They just drop buses and buses off. And of course, people are going out and they're coming in. R&R. Receiving and release. Happens all day long. So yeah, F88337 to F9. 1,000 people apart. Psh, he probably came to Wasco a week after I did. We were in Max Me together for about a good month. He didn't have an orange. So yeah, man. That's what's up with that. I'm going to tell another story right now because we have a little bit of time. This story I'm going to tell, I've told before. In fact, I told it probably like 2-3 times, but way back in the beginning when my channel was new. Well over a year ago. Maybe even a year and a half. But I remember when I told it way back then, I kind of told it twice in a row. And I got it a little bit like, "Damn, Splinter, you just told that." And I think I threw it in 3rd time's the charm even. And then I think even someone used it. Because someone said, "Hey, man, you know that laundry story? Heard on another channel." Like, I guess someone else even used it, maybe, perhaps. I don't know. Don't care. But you might have heard the story. And if you have, the most some respect. Because she can let it fly for you, I guess. But I'm going to tell this, I guarantee at least over half of you, maybe more than that, have not heard the story. And it kind of like fits in. And I want to stretch this out. So here's what happened. When you're in D-Pod in Kern County Jail, the girls will bring you by your clothes. And now you're in there and you're white, you're wood, peckerwood. You have the Southsiders, Pisces, and the blacks. And then the girls come through. They have white and paisa, Southside and black. And they look out for their people. They're not stupid. I mean, the Southsider chicks that come through, they see their homies, and they'll be out the door, hey, what's up, homegirl? And they'll hook them together up a good little thing. They'll recognize them. The dudes that have a lot of tattoos and stuff, the dudes that have been doing time, the homeboys, I mean, they got love coming. I mean, it's their pad. They're always in here. The people that come for the first time, only come for a couple days. And tattoos don't mean everything. I mean, homeboy Danny Farmer, straight up, bro, state raised, not a tattoo on him. He used to always say, hey, Splinter, check me out. Halftime and no tattoos. So it doesn't mean anything. But at the same time, if you've done a lot of times you'll end up collecting a gang of ink. Homegirls see that. They can tell, hey, this dude's done some time. Let's show him some love. He might be fighting a case. He might be going upstate for 10 years. Who knows? Let's get him some cool sheets. The girls take care of their own race. And there was this chick in there, and you would expect it from a homegirl. A chick with some tattoos herself, and she looks like she herself is on her way upstate. You could tell by looking. Some chick who's coming through and she's been there for the first time. She don't know much. She's kind of skittish. Versus the homegirl that comes in all blasted back on her neck and her hair's dyed blue and her freaking tongue split in half and her nose is pierced. And she's all, what's up? Yeah, I seen one like that. What's up, homegirl? I was trying to get some good clothes out of her. I wanted a good thermal. They keep it so cold in there. They say, I guess, it's to kill the diseases. I don't know. They keep it cold in there. The staff and all that. Keep it cold. That's why they issue you a thermal. Issue you a big-ass thick wool blanket. No good for no one. Those things are so itchy. Bro, you could be in Antarctica 40 below. You wouldn't use that thing. You'd like maybe use it like as a tent, like hang over your head so nothing could fall on you. I've never met no one yet. You could like snuggle up in that wool blanket, man. There has not gotten that cold. They give you a thermal dome. I wanted a good thermal. I wanted some good clothes. I'm like asking homegirl, what's up? And she'd put me on the shine. She'd walk by my cell, like, hey, what's up? She'd not even give me a second glance. I got nothing coming. Fuck me in my neck, bro. Fuck me what I'm going through. And I'm like, I can't believe it. Hey. Nothing coming. So then I see her and she walks by and I go, hey, homegirl. And she looks at me and I know I shouldn't have done this. I throw her one. I flip her off. Boom. Whatever. But the problem with that is, there's a Southsider chick standing behind her and off to the right a little bit. And she thought I was flipping her off. And this chick was plugged in. She knew, not only she know some people, but knew the right people. The people she knew were the right people. And she knew some of them. If that makes any sense. Bro, she had yank. She had juice. She was the wrong person to be flipping off. Put it that way. So as soon as she got back to where she was at, she wrote a kite and sent it in. I got along with the Southsider who had the keys, who lived next to me, but he was kind of had a chip on his shoulder because the cops planted dope in his car. I know they did. He got 6 with 80. 6 years at 80% because the cops planted dope. I know they did. You know, you could tell some they're bullshitting. Man, I know that when he told a story about the cops planting it, he got no reason to lie. He was already sentenced. He's going upstate. And he's like telling like an emotional story. Like, damn, bro. Gotcho. That's fucked up. So he had a chip on his shoulder. He's like a little upset about it. And he just kind of like, But we got along. He got that kite, though. So we had like a 5 a.m. unlock. Me and my cell, like, doors crack, we get up. You never know what time you're getting your unlock. I mean, you can kind of predict by yesterday's, but I didn't anticipate a 5 a.m. one. So I'm jumping up and getting my coffee ready and stuff, and I'm like over by my table, and I feel a presence behind me, and I look back, and there's 4 Southsiders. And one of them's got us like this, which always means, you know, he's got something down there. He's not just scratching. And the dude who got framed, got the stuff playing in his car, was like, what's up, Splinter? Like, he flipped off one of the homegirls' dolls? Like, bro, we got this kite. Like, why do you put me in this position? I'm going to have to handle this. Like, I kind of like you, dude, but you went too far. But what the... And I was like, no, slow to kick back. Dude, they came in there to handle business, man. I was like, dude, no, I flipped off the white girl. No, because what he did, came in and said, you flipped off homegirl? I was like, yeah, I flipped off homegirl, my homegirl, a white chick. Why do you care? It's not your business. He's like, no, you flipped off my homegirl. I got a kite. She wants us to handle it. I'm like, no. It must have traveled, because I was aiming here. Big misunderstandings. He's like, all right, man. I said, hey, I apologize. He goes, I'll shoot your apologies back to them. That the note was misunderstanding. But if she does not set the apology and she wants us to handle it and push it, we're going to. Just a heads up. We're going to go handle it. So I was like, all right, cool. So I didn't know for a couple of days. The cool thing, though, my celly was like, he had my back on it. So, you know, organs, too. And they had a weapon. I didn't have any weapons. I wouldn't even try to work with one. I kind of felt like I was in the wrong. I'm going to put it down. I'm just kind of like a little bit defensive. Like, dude, I just hope to accept the apology, man. I didn't want to go all crazy like this. And she did. She said, okay, I can see it being misunderstanding. But guess what happened the following week? And I should have saw this coming. I turned my thermal in, and I get a thermal back, and it was like, It was so tiny, dude. I put it on for a joke, and it was like one sock, just like I gave that Vincent dude. Toe blown out, cut up sheets, shot out shit. And when they gave them to me, they were all the girls were all laughing, snickering, and pointing. I'm like, damn, I should have knew better and even turn shit in. And the following week, I was like, hey, what's up? Much respect, turn my stuff in. It got a little better. But it took like a whole month just for me to get back to the shut out shit I had. It took me a month to get the shot out. It was, like, here's shot out clothes. Like, here's what I was wanting. They took me down to here. I built up to back to where I was. And they even kind of, I think I ended up getting a cool thermal. I don't know. But, bro, be careful where you throw that bird. And my apologies if you had to hear that story again. I just really feel like telling it. And sometimes people get on to me like, hey, bro, we heard that before. But when you're just talking and telling stories, sometimes I forget what I even told. Who knows? I'm not going to verbatim put out the exact same video, take it, like, repeat it again. But if I'm, like, telling a story about, like, robberies, and, like, oh, yeah, and this robbery happened, and, like, oh, you told that before, but it's, like, my bad, because I was, like, on topic, and it flowed. Or if I'm talking about a certain dude, and I mentioned something else, like, you said that, like, my bad. Sometimes you just gotta, like, kick it, dog. So I don't know what's good for you is good for me. Bro, I'm going to even post again tomorrow. I'm seriously going to see what happens. I just want to upload every single day this month, and to see what happens. Fizz, okay, dog. I think I got it in me. And it feels good to hang out and kick with you. And, you know, tomorrow, what am I going to do? Not quite sure yet. But happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And upload most some respect. That's the hardest job in the world. So, absolutely, 100%, my well wishes to you. I hope you have a good one. You deserve it. And I'm you know what, I might as well not even kill time, keep talking. I tried to drag the video out by killing time, but you could tell that that the whole countenance was falling. You could tell I'm like not really sure what to say. I'm umming, and I'm like, people check out anyway. So what's the fuck of keeping it going? They could feel the energy is dropping. They're like, later, homie, deuces. We can tell the story's over. Right now you're just babbling. So why even try to fake the front? I'll see you guys tomorrow. Cut string, let it fly. Peace.